Welcome to the Learn Academy. Today we'll be looking at the planet Mars. Now, planet Mars is also known as the red planet. It is also the fourth planet in our solar system and the fourth planet away from the sun. Now, Mars is very interesting, and astronomers also believe that in the future, maybe the next 10 to 30 years, Earth people will be able to colonize the planet Mars. Of course, SpaceX is planning to go to Mars in a few years. They've been working on this project for years, and NASA has been working on this project as well. Everybody has their different interests in getting to Mars. People believe that there are many minerals there for mining. Of course, many robots have been sent, approximately 4: Perseverance, Spirit, Curiosity, just to name a few. And of course, we are very interested in this planet. But this planet, is it really suitable for life? And can people from Earth really colonize the planet Mars? Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so before. We crave your feedback and we need to know what it is that you would like for us to discuss on future programs. Of course, let us continue to look at the red planet Mars that has intrigued humans for centuries and continue to intrigue us in every way possible. Now, Mars would have been observed in ancient days by ancient civilizations, including the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, Indians, and Chinese. They would have studied Mars, and if you study their works and their writings, you would realize that they have proper records and data about the planet Mars, and they would have also observed other bodies out in the universe and in our solar system. Their equipment at the time may not have been of the same quality that we have now, but trust me, they were able to do their observations and make accurate recordings. So technology as it progresses may have enhanced, but we don't know how sophisticated their technology was during that time. And of course, there was less lighting on the Earth, so you would have been better able to look into the sky. So you trade off advantages for disadvantages. Main astronomers that would have looked at Mars include Galileo and Nicholas. Of course, we must also consider the orbit and the rotation of the planet Mars. Now, Earth has a total number of days in 1 year to be 365 days, while the number of days in a Martian year is 687 days. Whilst Earth has a 24-hour day, on Mars it is 25 hours for a day. Also, Mars is very popular in pop culture. We have many personalities in comics, movies, and so forth that have been modeled from what we believe to be Martian people. And of course, it appears in movies, in comics, animation, games, everywhere. People of Earth are just very fascinated and intrigued by Martians and by the possibility of life being on Mars. Of course, Mars also has 4 similar seasons similar to the Earth. It has spring, summer, and winter. It's that the difference is the length of these seasons. So the spring and the summer and autumn may last for 140 days, and then the winter lasts for 120 days. Because Mars has an elliptical orbit, it should also be considered that there are 2 additional seasons on Mars. It is also called the perihelion and the aphelion. This is when Mars is furthest away from the sun and when it is closest to the sun. Of course, these are just different seasons because Mars is a totally different planet. It orbits the sun in a different way from Earth. Its number of days are longer in regards to orbit and rotation. And of course, it has an elliptical orbit, and it's just a totally different environment. Mars has 2 moons, unlike our Earth that has 1. These 2 moons are nothing like our lunar. Lunar is very circular and round, while these 2 moons are shaped differently. To me, they look like a potato or an ill-shaped potato. However, they are the moons of Mars, and they were named after the horses that basically carried the chariot of a god of war. Now, many persons have considered, and astronomers and scientists included, have considered that the only way we're going to colonize the planet, right, is to actually terraform the planet. So we're going to make the planet more Earth-like. We're going to put nanobots out there or any other robotic influence or resources to make the atmosphere less thin and more suitable for human use. And of course, we won't be able to breathe in the air on Mars because of the contents and the chemicals that are in the atmosphere. It has a very thin atmosphere, of course, and we would have known that Mars would have lost its magnetosphere many years ago. We're not sure what the reason was, and of course we know that Mars has a very toxic soil that is very clingy and sharp, and the dust would be very dangerous if humans inhaled it. Of course, if we were to colonize, we would have to be very careful to prevent this dust and soil from getting into the colony, or basically the houses that we would have created on that planet. Of course, for terraforming, we would make it more Earth-like so that we would be able to grow plants and feed ourselves. Maybe we'd be able to take animals there in the future. So terraforming Mars means making it more Earth-like, making it more livable, helping us to breathe on that planet, making it our home planet if possible. It is also believed that one of the moons of Mars will basically collide with the planet in probably billions and billions of years to come in the future. We will learn about that in future lessons, of course. Now, there is also water on Mars. Many years ago, in ancient days, there was a belief that there would be water because persons had spotted canals, but then that was disproved. However, in recent years, it was discovered that water was on Mars and is still on Mars, and we can use that water just by warming up the planet with global warming, of course. And then what we would do is also use water from the caps. The polar caps of Mars also have water in the form of ice. This is very interesting. So now Mars is beginning to show some potential in terms of how habitable it could be for humans in the future. And as we know, there are many space projects in the works in regards to colonizing Mars or visiting Mars, and also doing studies on Mars. The rovers are still there, which is very interesting, and they continue to study climate and soil and chemicals and minerals and continue to report on the weather. Of course, we are very intrigued by whatever information is being presented. Now, we also know that with the potential of life existing on Mars, we're not just talking about pop culture now. We are not sure if there are organisms that are still alive on that planet, and we don't know if people lived there at some point in the past, or if they're probably underground colonies. We have no idea. We have no idea in regards to that, of course. However, future research will prove that. And in regards to us colonizing the planet, there are many plans and projects in the works. Humans will always be fascinated by the idea and the fantasy that Martians exist, because, of course, it is hard to perceive that we are the only species living in our solar system, of course, in terms of being in human form. We don't know, but I guess in the future, all of these questions will be answered. Mars is a fascinating planet. The stories surrounding Mars is simply fascinating. Of course, the discoveries, the information that have been found over the last 20 years is just simply fascinating. And it shows where you're coming from, a place where you don't know, to a place where you have acquired so much knowledge that you can send rovers to investigate, and they can send back images. And of course, you can be planning to colonize, terraform, and also be planning a space launch to the planet Mars. So we will see how SpaceX and other space exploration companies deal with this, along with NASA, in the future. The information will come out, we will be made aware, and of course, stay tuned to the Learning Academy. We will give you more information in the future. We will continue to have our debates and put out our questions. Of course, Mars is a fabulous planet. It's just for us as humans. If we tend to want to colonize that planet, we will make it fabulous. You know, we have made major technological advancements on the Earth, and there is technology existing that can do that terraforming. It may not be similar to what is presented in sci-fi movies or sci-fi books or just anything that you may read about scientific information in regards to colonizing Mars that is fictional, but we will get there. And of course, we expect the best, and we are looking forward to that day when we will basically leave out in a spacecraft or a cargo spacecraft that's carrying humans to whether it's Mars or another exoplanet that can basically host life, you know, because it is believed that the Earth will be destroyed one day in the future. So plans are in place for everything, and we have our scientists and our astronomers to thank for the work that they continue to do with researching. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been our lesson for today on Mars. We have looked at a few facts: the orbit, the rotation. We have looked at this discovery from early days. We have looked at the 365 days of Earth in comparison to 687 days. The 24 hours of Earth in comparison to 25 hours. The water, the pop culture. The 2 moons in comparison to Earth's 1 moon. The 6 seasons in comparison to Earth's 4 seasons. And also the lack of a proper atmosphere and no magnetosphere, of course, and the toxic soil in comparison to Earth's moist soil that can facilitate life and that is not so harmful in many places, of course, and life being on Earth. We are sure that life is on Earth. However, we cannot say the same about Mars. We know that we can survive on Earth. We cannot say the same about the Martian planet. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is it from the Learning Academy. And leave your comments down below. We crave your comments. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. And do your research on the various planets in our solar system and in our universe.